So welcome to our weekly hub, Earth Nouveau Hub, where we're exploring consciousness, and it's getting more and more interesting every week. And as we are, nearing the eclipse, which is on the 30th, isn't it? 30th. There's a lot of stuff happening, right? So first of all, let's just go around and just see what's happening with you guys. Tanya was saying earlier on, there's a lot of stuff that she perceives that is being thrown up. And I think also what I'm starting to recognize is that we are starting to really, really perceive the collective. So more and more now, it's no longer just saying, oh, this is what I need to work with, but we can look at the mirror still and really see what's really being brought up, blown up from the collective. And we're starting to perceive that on a very big level. Do you find that you get that as well? To find yourself entangled, and then I have continuously I feel the entanglement. It might trigger the vehicle, but at the same time, I've got the neutral observer that's continuously here now, and watching with me what's going on.
I feel that also. I mean, with that neutral observer self. One of the things I've noticed is a lot of people have died recently in my sphere of awareness, and a lot of grief, still coming to the surface, and fear. So many people I'm working with are experiencing, another layer of the wounded child, and that's digging up to the surface. And all of those emotions that people are bringing up aren't just from this lifetime, right? I see, the patterns of, oh, here this grief is triggering all of this grief from earlier in my life and past lifetime and collective, so it's like big giant acupuncture pins going deep, 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 into these patterns of emotion for release. I like to, I think of it as sort of like, one of those giant pimples that keeps filling up. You have to get all the bacteria out before it heals.
Yeah. And the interesting thing is now that we have an awareness, it's almost like the ability to now and say, okay, well, we are no longer just responding to what is happening at the moment. We're just really acknowledging almost where it comes from and who else is involved in all of that, right? Getting the players. Can you still hear me?
Yeah, you're kind of cutting in and out a little bit.
Let me see if I want on hotspot, because our internet at the moment, I don't know what the hell is going on. Catherine, do you want to tell the story what we have experienced?
I think it might be because we're both on video, Martina. Maybe I should switch off because I think it might be affecting your quality too. No, possibly.
I don't know. I can hear you.
You're breaking up really.
Are we back? Okay.
I'm going to try switching on. I'm going to try exiting, and then I'm going to leave, and you tell me if it improves.
You two can sit next to each other
too
if you're in the same house. If there's room.
I don't want to have her too close to me. No, I'm just kidding. Of course we can do that too. Is she gone now?
She
doesn't have to go. Catherine, you don't have to go. Oh no, Schnucky. Oh, well then. Is it better? Can you hear me now? Better? I had these issues, the last couple of weeks. But you can sit here with me. Grab a chair.
I'm not sure it made a difference, but
right. But I want you to. No, it made no difference at all. Okay. Hold on, guys. Keep talking amongst each other until I sort this out. All right.
One of the things I like to do, Martina, when that happens, is send a blast of energetic light through my wires back to the source. energetic cleanup.
Mm-hmm. Okay. How do others deal with it? That's a good tip. What else is it? Can you hear me now?
Mm-hmm.
Better now?
Yeah.
Okay, it's a hotspot. Let's see if that.
Saved by the phone.
Yes. Yes. I like that. And there's another thing we can do. Since we are working with all our different versions and all the different soul shards and everything, and the old versions, as we're moving into the new us, everything what's going to happen is our identity. We're going to start losing our identity, right? And this is what the fear is a lot about now too, because we might not even be aware of it, but it's happening. We're starting to lose because we're starting to get out of time. Time is becoming really weird for us to be perceived, and even space and all the other stuff that's happening, of course. But the fear itself is changing as far as I'm concerned. It's no longer we're afraid of the old stuff. There is the unknown, the unseen that's bringing up almost a lack of control, because we are recognizing that what's happening at the moment, we can't control that. Yeah, for lots of people. And it, as much as it is exciting, at the same time, I'm speaking for the collective now, we can perceive that fear and that lack of losing of control in the collective. Do you find that? Can you see that? Do you want to come and sit here?
I mean, one of the things I noticed around this is that the veils are definitely thinner, and there's more participation with the unseen world.
Yes. So absolutely. Now there's days, you know, I've come across, or Mary actually, she introduced me to a lady that I started listening to, and I've just, she's a walk-in, and her name is Linda Good Mc Gillis, and watch her. It's going to really expand. It's going to expand your levels of awareness. Of course, you got to use your discernment, see what resonates and what doesn't. But just to mention a few things that she said, she basically said that by the equinox of next year, we will have integrated all our soul shards. No, the soul shards are already integrated, but by the equinox of 2023, we will have crystallized our DNA. Yeah, because we gotta think along the lines, and she just reminded me of that. I mean, we all should know that already, but the planet itself has already gone through the ascension process, right? It's all done. It's already moved into the other frequency. So what we are now doing is we're just waking up to that, you know, and at the same time, what's happening is obviously we are collecting, just with our I am individuation process, we're just collecting all the soul shards. And that's what we're doing at the moment through the solar flares and the CMEs and all of it, the radiation that's coming in really, really strong. The old stuff is getting thrown up. Yeah, and anyone who is telling me today, you know, that they're not feeling it or they are happy as pigs in shit, they're lying, because it's not true. That is impossible, you know, because from the level of awareness that we are now at, is we are perceiving the shadows as much as we're perceiving the light. And the idea is not that everything will just be glory, glory, glory. No, we need to get, in order to neutralize what's going on, we need to get the shadow side and the light. And then we've got to merge that. And this is what we're doing with our soul shards as well. We're merging. And when I say merging, is some of the soul shards, you know, that we must be healing. Some of them we need to get rid of. Some of them, you know, we need to just acknowledge that they're even here. Some of them we need to, whatever else there is, and then just bring them together. And it's all coming into this vehicle here. Yeah. So considering yourself that conduit, you know, that vessel, but it's more and more that's coming to the forefront now that, you know, our purpose really is to be of service to the planet. And remember, the planet itself is a hologram. Yeah, planet itself is a hologram. And as
the
those
microcosm is the macrocosm.
exactly, and we are everything. So this is the new level of neutrality that we got to look at. Is it is now the matrix, it is now the domination and control. We are all it. We can't have a go at domination and control anymore, or the matrix, or the government, or the banks, or anything, the money, because we have created it all, right? So we don't have to wait for the aliens either, because we are the aliens. We are all it. And this is that new, I don't know, for me, it was like an expanded sort of awareness to say, oh, yes, right. But this is now what's happening. And once we've integrated all of that, we're just going to, carry on for a couple of years now, because all the old stuff from the collective is going to come out. Yeah. So I would almost say it's now a matter of not so much, yes, we're all part of it. We are the collective. But when the stuff is coming in, you are perceiving it from everywhere, right? And the pattern, so to give you an example, we had, I've got a cat, Mia, yeah? We had a fox in the garden. It's just those funny little examples, I had a fox in the garden and chased them around, and Mia went up the neighbor's tree very high up, and then she wouldn't come down. It happened yesterday afternoon, early afternoon. Oh, I didn't even know where she was. And then, I tried to get her down, and she was scared shitless and didn't come down, and basically forgot how to come down a tree, even though she just got up there before, right? So we were just, of course, you feel like, oh my God, she's meowing up there. So I tried to get the neighbor to help us, they came with a ladder. And then, of course, the more you get close to her, she's a stubborn little cow anyway, just went all the way up, couldn't get her at all. Then we even Catherine phoned the fire brigade, yeah. And they said, well, sorry, Schnüffel, but we don't do that kind of thing. Just put a bit of milk out there and some food, and she'll come down eventually. Now, this morning, she still hadn't come down. So we looked at that from an interesting perspective. So what was she actually teaching us? And then I looked at it from a perspective like, okay, the collective. We're all sitting up, the collective sitting up on the tree there, and they're scared to move. She was scared to move. She forgot. I said to Catherine, she forgot she's a cat. It's like we forgot that we are multidimensional beings. Now we're sitting on that tree, and there were lots and lots of branches, lots and lots of branches. And the lovely neighbor, kept the ladder there too. She could have totally come down, but she didn't. Just meowed. So that victimhood, that old victimhood. And whilst we were going through all our emotions on the ground, feeling sorry for her, trying to empower her, as I said, we found that and that. But the realization to say, well, she's a cat, right? Just like us, we need to remember who we are. And then we can start moving. One step at a time. Stubborn, she's super stubborn. Yeah, neighbor went up all the way, could have actually taken, but she was like, wah, gave him shit, went even further up. Reminded me very much of the lineage that I came from. Yeah, there was so much going on, and then we just had to decide. I said, okay, well, look, there's the water, there's the little, food. If you want to come down, come down. If not, there's nothing we can do at this moment, right? This morning I got up, I tried again. And I coached her through like I would talk to a human being, And then the interesting thing, what happened was I did a distance treatment on my mom. And my mom's in Austria, and she's been like complaining about this and this and that. And same thing all the time, So I did the distance treatment. And when it came out the studio, guess what? The cat came down. And it was almost like, whoa, look at that connection. Of course, some would say she's out of her mind, what's that to do with that? But for me, it was crystal clear what had occurred here, And I spoke to my mum afterwards, and she even got it. Do you know what I mean? I said, I'm just going to leave you with that. The stubborn cat just came down. What does that say about you? Is it time to allow yourself to be held, allow yourself to be supported, allow yourself to receive, that kind of thing? And that is what is occurring at the moment. In everything we perceive, we can see the multidimensionality and the connections, the network around it. And we can't maybe tell everyone that because they think we've gone completely mad. But the one who understands it will look and say, okay, well, let me look at this. There's so much interesting stuff at the moment. As you say, Tanya, the veil is lifting. And that we can really use very tangible things in our lives on this planet, bits and pieces. And there's another example I have for you guys, but it's enough of me talking now. So that was just something I wanted to share because that wasn't interesting. And then Catherine and I and my daughter, it was the three of us who were at home. And every single one of us reacted differently, right? And we looked at that and said, okay, so what's in it for you? What did you learn from this? What did I learn from this? What did, it triggers you when you see somebody making all this. Oh my God, she's so poor. It's a fucking cat. She got up there. Get down. It's all there, right? And stuff like that.
One of the things this makes me think of is how much fear people have to actually be grounded and connected to Earth. There you were standing on the Earth and the cat's way up in the tree and doesn't want to come down to have her little paws touch on the Earth. And yes. I see this with so many people that I'm working with, right? The root chakra is closed down. The Earth Star chakra is closed down. And that Earth Star chakra needs to be open in order for us to really anchor in to this new operating system Earth, to this new Earth blueprint. If that's not open, we're not anchoring into our blueprint. Yeah, so I'm seeing fear, a lot of fear, right? Earth is not an easy place to be in the density here. And of course that's shifting and changing. It's like we're surfers riding that wave of energetic lightening. But still, you have to anchor down into those trenches before you can feel that. Come to
and
that
that's
oneness.
Yeah. To bring that energy through. And as we do that, you see, this is, as you say, if we don't allow the energy to come through our bodies, we are not allowing our DNA technology to switch on. That is the main exploration at the moment. That realization that we are here in service to the earth to bring that energy through. Because the earth has already transcended. It's been since 2012, 13, right? What we know. It's already happening. So since then, over the last 9, 10 years, we've been working backwards. But not necessarily, because the energies are now coming back, they're filtering through. And they are basically a representation of the consciousness, of the collective consciousness that is going on at the moment, just like the weather is. We're creating the weather, right? The weirdness, the wackiness, the this and that, the erratic, behavior of the weather is just because we are creating. We are behaving erratically. And this is not a judgment, of course, this is just the way it is. But it's nice to start looking at that. So we can no longer, as a consciousness explorer that has an understanding of what's actually happening at the moment, we can no longer blame anyone. There's actually no point to even talk about the matrix. No point to even look at any of that. Ramping up neutrality. And the next level that's coming through for me as well is going beyond, having sovereignty integrated, and then going beyond this now from almost like a surrendering of our individuality. We've worked so hard for our individuality, for the understanding of the surrendering and all of that. And now it's time, with that knowingness and with that wisdom that we have accumulated over all these years of self-mastery, self-healing, and sovereignty, now it's time to open back up into community. And that's obviously happening through the heart, right? And this is the other thing. This is what's I never looked at that until I listened to this lady, and it's quite interesting. We've done a lot of work between with female and male energies, right, within ourselves. Now, this energy that is coming in at the moment, is interstellar energy, cosmic energy, universal, whatever you want to call it, is feminine. So it's magnetic in nature. Now, what's magnetic is we're living on a planet, electromagnetic planet, right? With electromagnetic energies that are starting to fade out because the magnetic, the heart, is expanding. The toroidal field of the heart is expanding with all these things that are coming in, so that we can start to merge our physical hearts with the cosmic heart, or universal heart, or whatever you want to call it. So this is now, and I quite like that. I've never looked at that the way she said it. She says matter, light, is masculine. Etheric, divine, is coming in, the feminine. And for some reason that expanded my, I don't want to call it understanding, but something just expanded in me, because I've always looked at what is the next level between male, female, what is this heart business? How can I work with that? And I needed something instead of just saying, open your heart. What does that mean, right? But now I can, from a magnetic perspective, that the feminine energy is coming in. So the heart needs to be open in order that feminine energy to be merged with the heart into the masculine, the light matter. I thought that was super, super cool. I like that.
What came to me was for the feminine energy to be contained in the masculine energy, in the electric masculine energy. Containment.
Yes.
Feels juicy.
Feels juicy. And also, do you know what has changed? Because I've always looked at the earth as feminine. And actually, looking from that perspective has changed my because it's not really just, it's actually, well, it's a hologram anyway, but in form, it is actually masculine more than anything else, right? What comes up for you guys? Like Carolina just said, is there anything else that comes up for you? Does that expands your exploration a little bit, or is this something you guys known all along? It's just me being weird. I'm gonna mute myself a little bit because, can you hear it?
Yeah. So one of the things that I've been working with is, during my meditations and awareness, in my daily practice, is aligning my heart toroidal field, my toroidal field, with the toroidal field of Earth, with the toroidal field of the sun, with the galactic center, with the universal center. So, it's like this journey back to oneness. And it's like I say often, I am the earth and the earth is me. I am the sun and the sun is me. I'm the galactic center and the galactic center is me. And so when all of that energy can open up, into my hologram, my heart portal, there is a sense of oneness, that I can really feel. Even though I'm on my individual journey, I'm still connected to and aligned with all of it. And you know, it makes me think. I was talking to my friend about this yesterday, talking about the way that our galaxy is now coming into alignment with the Andromedan galaxy, and AB has talked about this. And there's another galaxy that's unseen because it's in higher density that is aligning also with both of these galaxies. So instead of the duality, right, we're coming into a trinity of things, you know, which is, I think, really interesting and exciting, because it's the next level. Because I guess we go duality, trinity, oneness, or something like that. I mean, I think we're all exploring what that means, right? In our bodies, in our world, in our lives, in our communities.
Absolutely, and it's happening much faster than we thought. It's already happened, and we're actually waking up to that. I mean, when she said we're gonna have our bodies crystallized by the equinox of next year, be that as it may, it just, for me, it got me really excited. So I didn't expect that to be. But remember, AB saying also, all this COVID business is going to fade out by mid 23. So that falls slightly in the same sort of thing, you know. So I think we have to really acknowledge that we're already there. And then, you know, she said it's over the next 5 years, the planet itself is going through the dark night of the soul. And I have this sense that this is when our work is really going to start now, starting now. As you say, Tanya, there's lots of people moving on, and then what happens to the people that are left behind? How can we assist those people? That communal feeling coming back, that open heart, and, you know, working with people not from an empathetic entanglement anymore, but from a really open heart space. And also allowing ourselves to be really authentic and, you know, just speak freely. Yeah. And if people can't handle it, well, okay. I don't think we can no longer guard ourselves. Is that the sense that you guys, does this make any sense?
It's all the things I've been going through right now. Every single thing everybody's talking about.
Well,
The identities, and then like the oneness, and me, like, I feel like the longest time I've been like like individuation, like separating myself so I can be myself, but then like reintegrating with the whole, because we are the hologram. And I was like, I wrote it in my journal, but it like made sense to me. It's like, yeah, I love myself so much, and everybody else is me, and I'm the hologram. Therefore, I love everybody else around me. And I don't know, a lot of these beliefs and concepts, they've been like releasing old beliefs and integrating like the wholeness, like the flow of everything around me, instead of just me being separate from it. I'm in the flow with everything. I don't know, things have been flowing more fluidly lately. I've been dreaming more, which I haven't been dreaming for a while, which was, you know, but yeah, everything everybody's been talking about, I've been feeling those for sure. I've been losing my older identities, and like, just, I don't know, I'm more free flow lately.
That's fabulous, Alfredo.
And I think those journeys that we take through our past, you know, like looking at those photographs of ourselves when we were younger, asking help remembering what was going on, you know, when you were 5, when you were 6, when you were 7, 8, 9, you know, that understanding, you know, of the way you built your identity. How are those child yous playing now, right? And are they integrated, or is there one standing out, still kicking and screaming about something?
I feel like some of them, even like the more free ones, are coming in, and like the ones that need to be, dealt with have been showing themselves to me. I always get little signs from the universe, like, yeah, you need to heal this trauma over here. Like, yeah, I'll get to it.
And I mean, sometimes it's nothing, sometimes it's so simple and silly that it's not even, it wasn't even like an incident or something difficult or traumatic. It was just like 3 words from someone that changed your perception of reality. And how is that playing now in your perception of reality?
It's what I'm finding is it's very much now the energy that is coming through between the words even, It's almost like, when I listen to this lady, there's not that much new stuff that she's saying. And for some reason, I just felt completely elated by listening to her. Yeah. Because of the frequency that is coming through. And I think this is what we got to, from a sovereignty perspective, we've always been, protection, we've left that behind anyway, but staying in that high frequency, that will be what keeps us. It's almost like a high frequency buffer around you. Yeah. And that doesn't mean we are happy all the time. It's not that. It's really looking at that balance, balancing out and acknowledging, because if we only go for the happy, then we go back into the old neutrality issue, into the old judgment. That kind of thing. Don't do that anymore, There was something else I was going to say. That loss of identity, this is going to come through. Because remember, over the last couple of shows, we've already said, something is happening and I don't want to do the old anymore and stuff like that. And it's almost like it's not a fixing anymore. It's not like small changes. It's something is occurring on this planet that has never been here before. We have never done this. What are we saying? We're saying that we are collecting all our soul shards. So far, we've only had a fraction of our soul in our avatar here, right? But now the avatar is expanding through the energies, and we're bringing more and more of those soul fractals in to complete. So of course our bodies will change. They're getting much, much lighter, and things like that. But I mean, that is obviously a process now, but it's almost like everything has already happened and we just have to work backwards, and acknowledge it. And it's a discovery. And I'm so glad we've actually called our shows always the exploration of consciousness, It's a real exploration. It's a discovery. It's a curiosity, an enthusiastic curiosity, an effort, everything that comes at us, how can we work with this? Not from a solution of fixing perspective, but from an understanding that we are no longer the people that we used to be. No longer. This is why we have the separation of density. This is why the people disappear. Having said that, those people, some of them will come back too again. And there's another really cool thing that she said, I remember. It's like, if you want to work with people, just disconnect the version of the person that doesn't work for you. And then see, the person can still stay in your frequency range, that particular version. So this you can do from an understanding that we have. Not many people know about versions and shards and all of that, but we can get really specific now with that knowingness that we have. It's just, just disconnect that version. We always like cut the cords, get rid of, not necessarily, just get rid of that version and see. I think it's very much like what we always say about out-creating yourself, waiting for other people to out-create themselves. But you can disconnect from that version. And the other thing is we can, we've come in with all these contracts, right? Now, this lifetime, starting with this lifetime, first of all, we don't have to come back. We're going to be eternal, immortal. I know it sounds weird, but that is what's occurring. We can take our bodies with us. We can still have a representation here in our bodies and live on a different, we're doing it already. We know that we're doing it already, but now we're going to do it consciously, more consciously. Now, that's why neutrality has to be taken to the next level. Because once we start in the next couple of years, once we start seeing it, we're going to come onto this Zoom and, you won't see my body anymore. You see the origins of me. It's like a shape-shifting, you're going to see who is behind me. I'm going to see who's behind Tanya, who's behind Carolina. And that's already happening now. You can see that now. So look out for that. It's going to be interesting.
Yeah, it's not just the soul shards from all of the past lifetimes in the wounded child, right, that are coming back to our heart center. Mm-hmm. We are aligning with all of those versions of our multidimensional self. And those soul shards or self shards, multidimensional self shards, are coming back into alignment, right? Because not all of those parts and pieces of us are on the same page sometimes.
Well, no, they're different dimensions.
Yeah.
But it used to be, and now we're going to bring them in. Mm-hmm. Right? The 12 dimensions, just here on this earth.
Alignment, alignment, alignment.
Bring them in, bring them in, bring them in. Not ours. Reptilian.
I think there's some kind of rap song in there somewhere.
I'm excited. Right?
I want to share with you guys. I've always wanted to drive a stick shift. I don't know if you are all drive stick shifts or automatic.
Oh yeah, so much fun.
So I started taking classes, and I am fascinated with the clutch. The way that you have to pull out the clutch and let that space, that sweet space where you can put in the gear. And at first I couldn't get it. The car kept turning off. And I thought, I'm bringing all my multidimensional self that wants to drive the car with me to come and drive this car with me now. And I got it. I got the clutch. And I was able to park without having to stand up like a truck driver and like go back like that, but using the mirrors. Using the mirrors to back down was wild. I was having like an experience parking this car. And I felt like the car was full. Never thought it could be something like that, just driving a vehicle. And I was thinking on the road, I wonder if everyone else is having this experience with me here. We're driving a vehicle.
It's definitely a full body experience. It's very stimulating. Yeah, it's awesome.
And thank you for sharing that experience, because this is an energy that we're all going to start to experience. And we're going to do ordinary things we might even have done before in this lifetime, and all of a sudden do them in a completely different energy. That joy and that it's like, oh my God, what is this? That is, as far as I'm concerned, that is part of the integration that you have done. And literally, some of your soul shards had to learn to drive a car, and how excited they were, because they've come probably from the 12th dimension, right? They have never been in a car, and you as the avatar allowed that. And that is the next level of understanding. So we are no longer having to look up to the ones in the 12th dimension or outside even of the earthly dimensions, or the ones in the past, the ancestors. We are the ones who are alive. And with that, we are giving life back to all the other ones that are literally dead, because they don't have a body. It's that new understanding that having a body is the ultimate experience. And the avatar, as you're merging and integrating, you are facilitating your ancestors, the past and the future, below and above. This is the bollocks here. And that you just so beautifully, illustrated with such an almost ordinary experience, right?
I really love that. I really love that, Caroline. That was just I just got that whole thing. It's like the clutch, and you have to, it's like the awareness of, yeah, that, and then you have to shift, and then you have to, there's a lot going on there. Like, if we could do that everywhere, like, I know what feeling you're talking about. And it wasn't even in your brain. Your brain didn't even do that. That was like full body, all body experience to me.
Beautifully said, Amy. Something to look out for. We are bypassing the mind. We're bypassing the binary coding and going straight into experience. That is what we are going to do. We're going from binary coding into geometry, into the million-letter alphabet, because that's what this is actually all about. It's like experiencing music. It's experiencing arts, where we don't process everything through the thought analysis and things like that. We are bypassing the thoughts. We're going straight, the body goes straight into the experience.
Okay, so this would be like you learning Spanish and even the piano. Like, I've been wanting to get back to the piano, and my brain just, I get stuck. I'm like, okay, A, B. And it's like, at some point I was able to play, not beautifully. I wasn't like a great piano player, but I could play simple songs. That's the feeling that Carolina had, that I know. Thank you for that, because like, it's not something that I already know how to play it, but why is this getting in the way? It's getting in the way, actually.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's what we're going to start doing from now. We're going to start bypassing the mind, the convoluted mind, that kind of thing. And it doesn't, it's just going to happen now. It's not that we have to, eradicate every single thought we've ever had. Yeah. It's just going to start happening through the activation of our DNA and through the connecting, like Tanya said, to the blueprint of our DNA, connecting the earth. And this is why we need to connect everything into the earth, because we're part of the earth. Yeah. That's why we've got to bring it in. And that's obviously happening through the heart, because of the magnetism, because of the energy, female magnetism coming in. Yeah. And then the electromagnetic will fade out. It's starting to lessen. Yeah. And, I think it's going to be really, really interesting what that looks like, what that feels like. It's also, the feeling side of things, like, the feeling, there's nothing wrong with feeling. It's just been the distortion of feelings through the emotional distortions and attachments and all the wounding. As we're starting to let that go, we kind of start feeling again, but from a sensory perspective, because our senses are going to increase as well. Yeah. These are all the things that I, just by listening to this chick, actually started to come to the forefront. I think, okay, cool. So I really invite you to look at this lady. She's quite something.
Can I say something, Martina?
Take that.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Hi guys. I don't know, I just came on today because of inspiration. I don't know anything. I love you. Thank you for the opportunity to clear. What you guys talk about here, Martina knows that something life-changing is happening and is happened in my life this year. Another one, but I'm not going to talk about that. In short, that you know, what you guys are here talking about is I'm actually being it, living it for many, many months now. I don't live in time anymore. You know, I don't know anything. And I have been creating, co-creating and collaborating, not just with the earth every day, but actually I have, like, I don't want any friends and I don't think I have any friends, but I meet strangers, and I always say strangers are angels. It's like wherever I go, people mesmerized in a way that I show them what magic is. And the amount of messages, feedback from strangers I have been receiving, and everywhere I go, I teach people, or actually not teach, but I show people what I want to be in the world, what I want to see in the world. I don't tell them anything to do this or that or the other, but every single person who I meet, whether any walks of life, you know, I talk a lot, like with the divine feminine, I create with that a lot. I wrote about that a few weeks ago. Lots of stuff you're talking. It's like, it's not the time to question anymore. It's a time to be. It's a time to be what you actually want to be. Of course, I put in a lot of work into myself, a lot of work as always, but it's the time to be. It's not the time to question. Questions are gone. Questions stuck the body and everything. And I totally morphed into a different person. And my friend said to me, well, friend, this person, actually, we are not persons, not people, we are sovereign beings. But this sovereign being told me that, Andrea, you don't even look like you looked 5 months ago or 6 months ago or a year ago or whatever. It's like, it's the time now to start acting, to start showing the world that this is another way. Like yesterday, I went to play my shamanic drums in the park, and everybody was mesmerized. And I said to them, look, the magic is going to happen. And it did. And everybody was like, they couldn't believe it. Everybody was recording me. Like, you know, it's you teaching these people to totally open up to be themselves. For me to see that was magic. And I didn't say anything to them. I just was being me, you know, and everybody was like, Andrea, you know, this is what I invite everybody to be, to collaborate, be what you want to see, and don't give attention to what you don't want to see, because everybody is now fear, anger, this and that. No. Advocate for what you want to be and see, because if we give attention to the opposite, then nothing's going, then peace will never happen. Never, you know? And that's what I wanted to add, that we can all be that. We can all be that very, very easily. We just have to choose. We are either in data or we are either in inspiration. That's it. All of us. And we are rarely in inspiration because we got 15 million bits of information per second. We don't know what's going on. None of us do. We don't know. I just do the clearings and let it be what it may be and see where the wind takes me every single day. If I make it tomorrow, see what happens. That's it. That's it.
Fabulous. Well, thank you very much for sharing that.
Beautiful.
It's a bit like Alfredo is saying, you know, he's
Thank you.
experiencing that, you know, and that's why it is nice for us to put it in words and to validate. Not that we need validation, but it's going to be nice because, as Andrea says, we're going to become, you know, it's like leading by example. And that's nice, you know, and whoever wants to watch the replay, they might get inspired by that, right? So this is now where the community is coming together, not from a place of we're no longer teachers, we're just being who we are, and then some people might get inspired by that.
Exactly, because for example, I'm vegan, you know, I'm raw vegan, right? And I met chefs, whether online, whether in person, and obviously they eat meat, you know, they make meat. And I had a really good conversation with one of them, actually face to face, wherever I stayed a few weeks ago, I don't know how many weeks ago. And I created a video and
I think we're losing you, Andrea. Have we lost?
that we created together, because the vegan and the non-vegan, so it's like we showed the world that it is possible to collaborate if we don't judge each other, and he was so happy, and he created me and people were looking at that like, wow, who is this girl? I just turned up out of nowhere, and it was beautiful, and it showed an example to other chefs maybe who are meat eaters, or to other people who are vegans, that if we don't judge each other, we can create magic. And that's what I'm been spreading this month, this year, all across the UK and the world.
Fantastic. Thank you, Andrea. Thanks for that. Yeah, so that's the invitation, spreading our magic, right? Fantastic. What else comes up as we ponder that? Have you guys got any questions, anything that you want to bring up? Anything pressing? Tanya, say something.
Well, I mean, nothing pressing, but I think that as we start just being, like Andrea was saying, being the change we want to see in the world, right? Being who we came here to be, right? Which is assisting in the birthing process of New Earth and ascended humanity. I think that as we connect with those multidimensional parts of ourselves, we are learning the light language, right? Learning the 1 million celestial alphabet, right? Talking with the dragons and the dolphins and the whales, right? Connecting with those beings on Earth. I've been really talking to the birds in my yard. I have a family of finches that have moved into my apple tree, and they hang out with a family of hummingbirds, which is just the sweetest thing. And they have the most beautiful songs, and so I've been just listening to them and talking with them and letting them know how welcome they are here. I had an experience when I was visiting my parents in San Diego. They have a pool, and they're like, oh, the pool is not being heated. I mean, it has solar heat. And I'm like, oh, well, maybe I'm just going to try to swim in the pool. It might be freezing cold, but I love swimming underwater. And as long as I can stay underwater as long as I can, I called in the energy of the dolphins. And as I was swimming underwater in this pool, I was the only one swimming in the pool. I was the only one in the pool area. And so I had this wonderful time to just, create and swim around and talk to the dolphins and talk to the whales. And it was like, as I was swimming underwater, I could almost understand how the dolphins tone and speak. And so I was dolphin speaking as I was swimming underwater, and really feeling that energy connecting with me. And it was like so inspiring and enlightening. And now I just need to get in a pool somewhere. My sister-in-law has a wonderful pool, but it's too cold here yet.
Starting that interstellar communication, right? See what they can teach us.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's a bit like, when we started going to the North Pole and bringing the souls, allowing them to come in and start communicating with us. What I want to do with this, actually, I was thinking, how can we assist each other to find out a bit more about the new us as the new identities are forming, because it will be quite, different for all of us to start acknowledging who we have become, because it's all in the acknowledgement process, not that we will have to do much in order to get there, but once we're there, we need to start waking up to what it is that we have become, right? And I think a good way is, has anyone here done a QHT, a quantum healing session, hypnotherapy session? No? What the quantum, think of Cannon. What's her face?
Dolores Cannon.
Dolores Cannon, right? So she obviously, being a hypnotherapist, she started off like that, and then, you know, she started connecting to people telling her all the stories, which started to bring about her work. And I thought we could use each other, because there's a lot of stuff that is hidden from us now that will come through eventually. But of course, we're all curious explorers. It would be quite nice to come and bring a document, create a set of questions that we could then make into a quantum healing, just as if we would be doing hypnotherapy on each other, just asking those questions, and then bring it together. So just the first step is just to collect some of those questions, right? And then we can put it together into a document. Then we can either do a hypnotherapy session, you know, on Zoom here, or you just use the script and actually record it and use it as a meditation. And then record yourself. Maybe you speak out loud what comes out, or think about, you know, and that kind of thing. Does that make any sense? Because I think that could be a nice little source to acknowledge the new capacities that will be coming through in the new identity. Because there will be capacities that are coming through that are not going to be very clear. And eventually it will come through, but, you know, that's something we can play with, because it's very, and I've done actually one with, we just started playing with that, Laura and Mary. We've done just the three of us, and it started me off, and then we recorded the session. So I was just talking as I would in a quantum healing session. And whilst hypnotherapy is always self-hypnosis anyway, yeah? It's never something, nobody can hypnotize you if you don't want to be hypnotized. And even if you just lie there and you're being asked the question, you ask yourself the question, you have two people witnessing, you start acknowledging certain things, and it just comes through when you're not thinking about it. And then when you listen to the recording, you can be quite surprised what you've said. It's quite interesting. When I re-listened to what I was saying, was very similar to what I then listened to from this Linda chick, and I thought, oh shit, I wouldn't have acknowledged it though if I wouldn't have done what I've done. So that's something we could do if you guys want to do that. Start playing with questions, and we can do this in a session once, or we can just accumulate them and put them on the Earth Nouveau public group, and then it's bring it together into a script. And then of course everyone is invited. If somebody feels really drawn to it, then just write the script, whichever one you want, you know, and then we share it out.
What would be an example of questions?
Well, something beyond what does your higher self want to know?
Oh.
Right? It's like, think of yourself in a way. What could be questions, you know, from a perspective of the new identity? Yeah. So
so is this something that helps remember, kind of? Not remember, but
I'm actually gone beyond the remembering now.
Yeah.
Because, you know, we're going to be new. I want to say discover.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. So what can we discover about our past lives? Not past lives, about our galactic origins. You're right.
Okay.
That kind of thing. So go a bit more galactic, because that's the idea of the Off-World Academy. And I was thinking, in order for us to sort of establish how we can help with all these off-worlders and the new souls that are coming in and all of that, it would be quite nice to have a bit more of an understanding of what is the new us, what is the new identity, what is, we got the Crystal Queen here, we got the Queen of Heart, Irina, we got obviously the Clutch Master at the moment, and you know what I mean. But these are almost like, these are our old identities in a way. There's something else that's coming through. And that's just a joyful exploration. It's not a seeking, an incessant seeking because we need to know. Yeah. That's one of the ideas. And then we can add that at some stage, because I want to, as we said, we can create a book then where we can put these templates in for people to just run this themselves. So that was one of the ideas. Have you got something for us, Catherine?
Something that came up was I was thinking about how a girlfriend of mine who had been extremely psychic and had always been very far advanced for a time, and then no one really listened to what
Can
she
you
had
hear
to
her?
say.
No.
Want me to come over?
Oh, no. Yeah, come here. Tell us.
Okay. I was just saying that a girlfriend of mine who is, I'm okay, that this, she was extremely psychic, and or she is extremely psychic Indian woman who went through it being an issue for her being that clairvoyant, and she would see things 10, 20 years ahead of everybody else. And then she said that now everyone's speaking in that lingo, and that she got a message that was saying, what you're going to come out with now won't be as profound as it once was, you being at the forefront of these things. And she said it was really tricky to, she felt her ego taking a big hit, because it was like, I was at the forefront of these things and I saw these things so far in advance, and now everyone's speaking in this lingo. And it's like, I had that lingo first. It's driving me nuts that everyone's speaking it now when they were berating me before, and now they're all love and light and whatever else. So yeah, I don't know why that came up, but I thought about it as I can't remember who was speaking, but I think it's probably something that I'm going through with the film stuff. Like, oh, we've been wanting to do this for ages, right about these films that.
So tell us a little bit about you, because nobody knows who you are.
I used to work in oil, and that's how I met Martina, was through my old boss, which is Paul, her husband. And so I was going through a dark time of just medicating through cocaine and alcohol and everything. And
cocaine?
Yeah.
You never told me that.
Yeah, I knew you.
You got stashed somewhere?
I knew that'd be the reaction.
Oh yeah.
Just kidding, guys. Carry on. Sorry.
And I went through a time where I nearly died when I was working with Paul, and I never really told anyone, but I went on a 3-day bender and I nearly died. And I put the painkiller label on the back of my phone inside where the battery was, so no one could see it was there, but I would always remember that if I ever went to go back to it, that was the reminder, because the BlackBerry was always nearby. And I haven't touched it since, and I have no desire to, but Martina helped me get into why I was medicating in the first place, which was because I hadn't healed the loss of my mother when I was a teen. So now I'm working in the film arena, and we're trying to do these, we're creating these films that have to do with activating your latent superpowers, your DNA that's wanting to unravel and play and have fun. And we have a group of misfits and rogues that have all come together for the same reason. But when I tried explaining it, say 5 years ago, everyone was saying, oh, this is never going to work. It's impossible, yada, yada, yada. And now they're saying, oh, a female-led thing, and you're triracial, and this is really in right now, The same people that wouldn't even look at me 5 years ago are now saying, oh, this is the hot thing, and did you come up with this all by yourself? And it's just interesting to see how you go from one point of being, you're not even worthy of, a 5-minute conversation, whereas now this is in, this is in style right now. You tick all the boxes. So it's just, I don't know, just interesting to hear. And it was funny when the lady was saying, I don't know who it was, but when she was saying about the clutch, that really helped me, because Carolina, because Martina said to me, why are you, Schnuckly, why are you trying to write this film? Just, banging your head against a brick wall, hoping for it to turn into a door. Ask your multidimensional selves to help you. They're waiting for you, all these things that you're judging, those are aspects of yourself, and they're sitting there waiting to come in and help you. Like, stop being silly. And then I realized that everything felt so much more expanded after she said that, because I was judging this aspect or that aspect or this person or this movement or whatever it was. And when she said, once you own all of them, then you can bring them all together, integrate, and then go forward, right?
And guess what's happening? Since you've only arrived 2 days ago, it's your second day, right?
First day.
First day. So she's going through my house, and I've got lots of stuff, right? And she's pointing out stuff to me now, right? Like this one. I haven't even looked at. And she's telling me the story about this and that. Oh my God, this is what the movie's all about. I'm like, okay, what is it? Oh, okay, I didn't know that was that. So she's pointing all of that out now. There's so many things in the house that are contributing, right?
Yeah, like that's literally the goddess I'm writing about. She has it on the wall there.
How about on the wall?
And no one's ever heard of this goddess either.
Me neither.
And she's had, how long have you had it for?
10 years.
Yeah. And I only thought about it 5 years ago. So.
Loving it. Loving it. That shit, yeah, is, what's the word?
Magic.
That is magic. Yeah, I like that. That is magic. Now, what we can do, asking you now, because you're going to hang around for a bit, shall we do the next session and you want to ask some questions that could be useful for the movie?
Yeah.
So if she puts a couple of questions together, right? And then we bring all our multidimensional selves in, and we just throw at you whatever comes up.
Yeah, because it'd be interesting to see, because on the film team, we meditate every Saturday, and it's a whole mishmash people that, vaxxers, anti-vaxxers, everyone is atheist, one loves it. So we keep it all together, and we say the basis is love and respect. No matter what your viewpoints are, we all just speak, because each of you represents one of the collective, right? So if we're judging one of you and saying we disagree, then we've just lost part of the audience, right? So we have to sit and work through it. So it'd be interesting to put up some questions, because some of us are in film, some of us aren't, but it'd be interesting to pose questions just in general to see where everyone's at in the, collectively.
And that would be look, we love questions, right? You ask them and we come up with shit. That's how it works.
That'd be amazing.
The more the better. Okay, that's for the next, we're writing a movie, okay? Let's just write a movie.
So I want to know who the goddess is sitting on the wall.
You tell her, and I bring the picture, yeah?
Her name is Kala, and it's based off a very old Tamil Buddhist goddess named Mani Mekalai, but that's too much for a Western audience, right, to try and digest. So this is the Thai version. Ooh, this is the Thai version, and that's her there holding a crystal ball, and that's lightning. And this is Ramasoon with the black axe. And he really wanted to possess her, but she would always just flirt with him and fly away. So he decided the next time there was rain, he was going to throw his axe at her and wound her, and she'd fall to earth, and then he'd be able to nurse her back to life. So next time there was rain, he threw the axe, but it hit her crystal ball and made a lightning bolt and came back and blinded him, and he let out a roar. And they say that when you hear that roar, it's thunder. When you see that, that's lightning. So that when you hear thunder and see lightning, it's Mekala and Ramasoon fighting. But what I'm writing in the film is that it's the balance of the feminine and the masculine coming together, so that there's no longer that duality consciousness, and then you can keep a heart field, toroidal field clear of debris, so that your heart can open, and finding that unity within first before seeking it outside of yourself. So that's it in a nutshell. But then it's adapted for modern time, that I'm working for a commodities trader, and he is a twin flame or past life lover, but we keep battling each other, not realizing that if we could just come into harmony and understand one another, we'd be able to create these ripple effects of change. But for the sake of the film, we have to have many obstacles, right? So that's it in a nutshell.
And I just had an idea what we were saying earlier, the next level of that. You can bring this into the multidimensional aspect completely. The male and female, like we said earlier on, the female energy, the divine energy, and the masculine, the crystals. the
Christosophia.
Christosophia and make it into the Christosophia, right?
Have you guys seen the Ascension Glossary online?
Have you seen the Ascension Glossary online? No. Where's that?
So it's like,
Ascension Glossary. Yeah, I know of this. Lisa Renee.
I don't know, I found that hugely helpful recently. Like I
Does
found
it
it
talk
about,
about Christosophia?
yeah, that's where I found it, read about it.
Oh, right.
It's like the Wikipedia for things.
I'll just put the link.
Call it.
Used to
It's gonna
Now
be
it's
like
in vogue.
outdated. It's gonna be so outdated. In a month, why do we talk about this? Everybody knows that, right?
Yeah.
So how cool is that, right? So we're gonna that's the plan.
Yeah.
You got any questions for Catherine on this one? She's going to Cannes as well. Bitch.
It makes me think of your story makes me think of, in a way, a book. So there's a science fiction writer who I really love, Roger Zelazny, spelled Zelazny. He passed away in '94, but he wrote some really amazing books. And one of the books he wrote was Creatures of Light and Darkness. And it's this story that starts out with Siddhartha, who is the monk who meditates for 1,000 years and who goes through this journey of witnessing this battle between the masculine and the feminine. It's a really great story. He's a Nebula Award winner. He wrote one of my favorite book series, which is the Amber series, which starts out as 9 Princes in Amber, which totally blew my mind and changed the way that I thought about my own multidimensional reality. It's the story of these princes who can walk through all of these timelines and multi-dimensional Earths. So it's really cool. It's a 10-book series, but really, really a cool story.
The Chronicles?
The Amber Chronicles? Yeah.
We're writing it down.
Writing it down. See, this is the next thing. We're all gonna movies, books. It's all gonna go into that. Once my book is finished, will be the last of that kind in my world. That self-mastery, sovereignty, and all that kind of thing. The next one will be a science fiction. If we still call it that, I don't know. I'm not called that.
And how
anymore.
about
Whatever.
multidimensional fact?
Fact.
Matters of perspective, perspectives of reality.
Exactly.
Journeys in the toroidal field.
Oh, I'll show it here with a blue thing behind. Can you see it? Can you see the posture? The mudra? Yes. And the other one's up. Yep, please show. Yeah. That's it. Fantastic. Now look, elongation, right? Now this little schnook is me. That's my new identity. And I didn't know that when I found him. I hope I'm never going to look like that, but I found him at the market. Well, he found me, really. I was like, okay, take me. And I thought, okay, I'm not sure. Yeah. Okay. So anyway, I took it. And I just put him on a side somewhere because, I didn't really know where to put him. Oh, I got to tell you, because Catherine has given me, what's his face? Ganesh. Ganesh is apparently for authors, for writing. He's written the Mahabharata. She knows all these stories. I can't remember anything he said. But he's written the Mahabharata, and anyway, so I've made him a little altar now with flowers and sweets, and apparently that's what you do. And then he's in the living room, and then I brought this baby in and put him on the table. Oh my God, Ganesh was not happy. The energy was like, whoa, what is this? It was palpable. I'm not kidding. And I thought, why are you having such a reaction? This is me. Hello. This is a very galactic. Can you see it? Can you feel it? No. I'm part of the Facebook group of my Kundalini breathing, blah, blah, yeah. And I thought, guys, can you tell me what that mudra is? I've never seen that mudra, right? And they all come back, we don't know, but it's a very interesting statue, you know? And whilst I put it on, and then I thought, okay, I'm just going to do it. I'm just going to try it out myself. So I'm inviting you, because the guys on the Facebook group have all started to they all have very similar reactions to it. Okay. So all you do, yeah, that's it. But not just 1 minute. Okay. So you're going to do it for quite a bit whilst you're breathing. You choose your own breathing, whatever that is. But allow yourself at least 10 minutes, okay, until your arms fall off, because that's when the intensity and the energy really kicks in. And see what comes up for you. I'm going to tell you what came up for me. It has been for me the right hand that goes up, the antennas that are going all the way up into the astral, universal energy. The other hand, fingers going down, is anchoring that energy into the earth. Yeah, so that's that. One is reaching up. I am the vehicle, the conduit, the crystal in between. I'm going to bring the energies, and this is really what's happening at the moment. And this is why I was so excited to find this young man or whatever, alien. Because it linked it all in. And only when I did it myself, I got the sense of it. So energy coming in and I'm bringing it down. Yeah. So that was that. The 4 fingers down into the earth. And I am the conduit for that. And the heart is opening whilst I'm bringing the feminine energy in through the heart space. Toroidal field expands, masculine energy down into the earth. Yeah. And I did that, I think 10, 15 minutes, and it was like really powerful. Got really powerful. But you've got to keep the hands up there, yeah, because you want to, this is not good enough, because that's not really creating the intensity that you need to have that kind of, you might have all sorts of hot flushes or Kundalini awakenings or whatever you want to call it, yeah. And the guys on Facebook, actually from this group, where they've confirmed that, so it's quite interesting. I was thinking, and again, this was another part of it, it's like, oh, can somebody tell me who made up that mudra? What, who said what it's supposed to be? And I'm like, fuck that, I'm just going to do it myself. Oh my God, just came in. Yeah. And he is helping me. So he found me to help me with my heart opening, to really work on that, to bring that feminine energy in, the planetary feminine energy, beyond our male and female. Because that we're working on that level now. And of course, it's all us. We know that. We don't have to reiterate that, because, when we say the planetary, it's like we are the fucking planet, right?
Well, I like that you say that this little guy is you, because it is a part of your multidimensional self in higher frequency density, higher density.
And also because he looks rather wacky. I have to really, I know that I'm undergoing a complete identity loss. I'm looking forward to that. And as I said, I hope I'm not going to look like that, but hey, God knows, but this is it. It's that real multidimensional new me that is coming through. And as I said, he found me 150. Yeah. Anyway.
Martin, I already look like but in a beautiful way. But I'm glad you said this, because last Sunday we were probably at the same market, but last Sunday I don't live in, I just wake up whenever I wake up, and I went to this magical place it's like aromatherapy times trillions. But there were these beings, I can see them, but like not everybody can see them. There were these beings, and I just totally immersed myself, mind, body, spirit into that. And like Martina says, is at that different level of planetary, whatever she said. And it's like you're transmuting the dreams. So I said, okay, I finished my walk. It's a bluebell walk, but it's like, it's total magic. That's where I was. It's on my Instagram. It's total magic. But the thing is, I said, okay, I'm going to be a bit late for the market, but I still go, and whatever it's there to find me, it'll find me. Whatever is there for me, it will be there for me. And the whole day was like totally like out of, you know, I mean, I'm used to it, but like for people, not people, for sovereign beings who not used to it, must be weird for them. But it's like, I went to this lady, and I just talked to her, and she was selling these incredible fairy plates, and I'm the fairy, but like they are totally, I had never seen anything like it. So I bought it. And then as I was walking around, another lady, it was like a fairy-scape. If it is one, I had never seen anything like it. So I got it, and like a little dress, and it's like, you could make this up. Like when you immerse yourself totally with the multidimensional levels, like the magic is like, I was in somewhere else outside of London, and then I said, okay, I didn't plan it. I knew where I'm going to go, but I didn't plan anything else. And I found another market there, and you know, it's just things find me. I don't know how, it's just there. And I went to this area, which is a very, very powerful area in the UK. Some other, probably Andrew knows a lot about this, and some other lady talked about this before. And I went up to these hills and see the sunrises, and it's like the magic that happened there is still processing in me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's still, but it's like Martina said, we morph into this something that basically we create, but the multidimensional, when you step into that energy, like I said, when you don't even know what's going on, you have not, like, you don't know, because it's impossible. You're just being with it, just go with the flow, you know. But like I said, I find escape, and I just like, wow, this is incredible. And you know, you just have this amazing day, just have this perfect day. Probably Martina was there, but she probably left before me. But it's not about it, there is no time stops. Literally, time stops. You know, I eat when I'm hungry, I'm sleep when I'm sleepy. I have clients coming in and out. I'm in and out. I'm here, there, everywhere. And whatever happens, happens. You know, life just goes on. Whatever happens, like it's just, everything stops. Like Martina said, it will stop. I think Andrew already mentioned in one of his shows that in America, I'm not sure that it's stopped now, isn't it? The Roman numeral, I think he said it in one of his things that,
To be honest, everything's already done. Yeah. So,
no, but I mean, you know, like for the beings who are not us, but the people who, the beings who don't know this, like they're already bringing it to their awareness, isn't it? In America, he said that in one of his recordings, I think. I don't know, but he said in America it's already started.
Good.
Something like that. I don't know.
Good. No, there's a lot happening. I listened to a little bit of his show the other day, and I really liked the AI connection to cryptocurrency. Have you guys watched this? He was looking at
Bitcoin. Yeah, they're talking about the Bitcoin. Yeah.
The Bitcoin.
Interesting.
Yeah. That was really interesting to look at that. You know, I think this is another exploration I want to go into. I want to go more into the AIs, artificial intelligence, and how we can start working with them. I definitely want that in our off-world. We call it off-world, but everything's on-world now anyway. Off-world, on-world, that kind of academy kind of thing. That type of exploration, which I want to do as well.
Well, that was a question that came up for me earlier that was unspoken, but we were talking about the binary, right? The divine masculine, divine feminine, and and how it's blending right into that unified space. But I wonder if the AI are going to be able to transcend the binary coding. Because that's ones and zeros, right?
That's ones and zeros. And yes, I would say so, because they are to become conscious sentient beings.
I
So
reckon
it's
they already
sensitive.
programming. They already program. Believe me, they already they either done it already, programmed into them, or they will be. You know, the technology that exists is beyond comprehension already. So
Well, maybe that's the the silica molecule that has the empty space for that je ne sais quoi programming.
Yeah, but I know quoi, but there's no quoi. I know nothing about the silicon thing. What's that, Tanya?
So in crystal, right? Crystal and sand and glass all have silica, are made of silica. And in the molecular structure of silica, there's a molecule that's a space, a blank space, right? And this is why crystals can take programming. It's why glass can take on energetic programming as well. And so you can, if you ever like pick up a crystal and you can see like the cloudiness or the dirtiness of the energy, that's because that blank space has taken on energy. Right? And so you can clear that energy and bring in, like the energy of sunlight, the energy of moonlight. That's why it's good to set your crystals out in the sunlight or the moonlight, because then they take on those energetics. Right. And with the crystals that I work with for healing, they help to hold, as they work together in a grid, they hold the energetic space for that blank space, right? For that person's original programming to come in.
So you basically just explained what's happening to us, because we are those crystals.
Right. And silica, the silica moving, I mean, there's not really a direct chemical path from carbon to silica. It's happening as we connect with the multi-dimensional space, right? We're adding those blank molecules within our multi-dimensional toroidal field to be the crystal.
Exactly. And this is why, what's going to happen as well. We're going away. We're going to become less carbon, much less carbon, as we're crystallizing, and turning into, but still we can take our bodies with us, because our bodies are going to adjust to that. So we don't have to disappear etherically into that thing there. We're going to keep that with us, because it's the entire vehicle, because that is what the technology is all about. Okay. And this is the other thing to really, really recognize. It's the technology of the body, of the DNA skin suit, and
but not only the DNA skin suit, the energetic light body around it is technology that we can't see, or not all of us can see in this energetic density.
Yes. You're absolutely right. The whole package of the body, what we call body, with all its etheric levels. Yeah. Emotional bodies and all that. Yeah. Cool. Fantastic. Good.
I have a question. And can you hear me?
Yes.
Because probably not. Been having trouble.
We can hear you.
I'm moving around. Let's see. How about now?
We can hear you, darling.
Can you hear me? Okay.
Go ahead.
I had a question for Catherine. I can see you guys are frozen.
Who's frozen? Amy, I think you're frozen, right? Am I frozen at the moment? No. No.
I think it's Amy.
Yeah, you just froze. Yeah, we've lost her now. No, here she is. What's your question? Put in.
My question was for Catherine.
Okay.
Even I don't know, this just came to me, but the feminine and the masculine, does, and maybe her film, have to do with this, all this gender thing going on? And you're frozen again. So I hear you.
Take the seat. She's gonna take the seat and tell you all about that.
Oh, darn it. Okay, wait, hold on. I can't even hear. Yeah, so did you get my question, guys?
That you were saying, do you think that the
Did you
reason,
hear it?
yeah, are we writing about that because we're coming to assist with the gender wars right now?
Gosh.
Is that was a question, right? Sort of, yeah.
I'm sorry, you guys went out. Hold on, go ahead, say it again, Catherine.
That you were saying that, do you think that we're writing about the film to assist with the gender wars that are going on?
No, I didn't know if that had anything to do with all that's happening now in that world of the gender and male and female. Does that make sense? I don't know if have a question or not. I don't even know the right words I want to say. Does it or not? Maybe it doesn't even have anything to do with that.
The only thing that comes to mind immediately when you say that is when I say that I'm an actress, there's a lot of people that get, they're like, no, you're an actor, you're not an actress. You're an actor.
Yeah.
And I said, I like the word actress, and in the original form of the word, I'm happy with, I like saying actress. And they're like, well, you should be neutral about it and say actor. And I said, well, it doesn't really matter. I mean, everyone gets to call themselves whatever they want. Why is actress why is that ruffling so many feathers, right? So I don't know exactly why, because the merging of the masculine and feminine is a newer element, like say maybe a year ago when I started the project about 5 years ago. So there are definitely layers that are coming in, but I haven't been layering them consciously. It's just different people coming to the project, and then they offer different elements. Like there was a script writer.
Yeah, it's all good.
There's a script writer that came in, and her and I have known each other for a long time, and she was I've really loved her quite a lot. And we were working through the script, and then I went through the script and said, Mikala is running in the field, its body is, or their body is, and I'm thinking, is there more than one person now in this scene? I don't know what's going on. She says, well, we have to rewrite it for, to make it neutral. I said, no, we can't, because that's gonna completely confuse the set decorators, because now they think there's more than one person in the thing. And but I'm all for equality, but this is now getting into a different level of just mass confusion, because I had to read the script a couple times to figure out what the hell was going on. So we all had to have a conversation and say, okay, we're not stepping on anybody's toes by saying her or him or whatever else, for the clarity of the script. So there's a lot of things happening in film right now where people are scared to even say him, her, or like especially the guys are like, I don't want to say anything because it's just going to get me in trouble. Whereas
that's like the woke community, or I don't know much about it. Yeah. Right. It's like, I just didn't know. I just had that feeling of like, it'd be cool if you could just do it like you want to do it. Are you considering it? Like, do you have to look at that woke community and make it just like, conform? I guess the Reuters conform.
I
wouldn't want to.
No, I've never that's probably why I'm still, I could have had the film made 3 years ago if I took the funding from people that wanted me to conform. But the thing is, I get very clear, I just can't do it. I love and respect for every single viewpoint, but it still has to be my creative vision. So we had an offer to do, we'll fund the entire thing, but it's 50-50. And I said, it can't be, it has to be 51-49 at least, so that it's still my creative vision. If in the end we have a disagreement, it still has to be the way that I see it. I take it. It's changed a lot because the people that are coming on board, all of them are very open. We're all open, and they say something and go, actually, yeah, that's right. Let's put that in. But if it's I'm getting a clear message, this has to be a certain way, then I answer to that first before, you know, the opinion or the trend that, or the fashion, you know, what's ever in fashion at the moment. So, I mean, that's why I don't go out for traditional auditions anymore, because you have to conform to what they're saying to you. And it's like, sorry, you have to have at least 1 million followers. And now it's influencers who are getting the roles over trained actors because they have those followers. And we have, say, 2,000 followers. So we're no longer considered, your training doesn't really matter anymore. It's all about your web traffic. I just spoke with a publicist the other day. So for me, things that are in vogue, they'll come and go. But the truth is always in fashion, and it doesn't need to be, you know, protected or coddled or anything else. So it's not, that might not be a popular opinion, but in the end, it's the most, truth is inclusive, right? So I think that these things happen to create balance. We're going so far one way because it's been so far the other way for so long. So it goes to this extreme, and then it's sort of, there's an equilibrium. But yeah, not everything that I say is in fashion or yeah, that's all of us
I love
viewpoints.
what you said, but I love your tenacity.
You're breaking up, babes. You see, I'm actually, you know, the other thing, and this is, I'm seeing this, you know, with my book itself, as you're moving into the next levels, your perception is going to change as well. You know what I mean? And it's almost like what you've written yesterday is no longer going to work. The way around that could be looking at it as a collective, because now we're all collectives, right? We are the avatar, yes, but there's a collective of, you could say, whatever that the goddess is called, the collective of, and that could include anything, feminine and masculine, and then the collective of, and just go from a relationship perspective and take out the gender.
Well, the funny thing is, my 13-year-old brother said to me, when he was 12 or 11 at the time, he said, Kiko, if mommy and daddy made me, then doesn't that make me like half male, half female? Like, aren't I just 50% one, 50% the other? And I'm like, Hunter for president.
XY.
XY, because he just
One of each.
And so it's yeah.
So we can explore that next week. You got a couple of questions for us, and we'll just explore that, right?
Yeah.
Along those lines, and then you have to rewrite the whole.
Yeah,
I'm already doing it.
I know. And bring the multidimensional aspect into it. But you got to start somewhere, because you know what? It's going to be a bridge. It's a story, right? You're going to start from the old and lead into the new.
Yeah. Well, because also what we're doing with the film is we're using light language and sacred geometry, and we're shooting in places of power where, you know, the stargates are, where the ley lines are meeting. So we're doing all these things to make it the exact opposite of what the media is doing now, which is fear and division. We're doing unity and sovereignty consciousness and making it an activation for anyone who watches it, whether they're aware of it or not. It's written in such a way that when you watch it afterwards, you're going to go, because the thing that drives me nuts with all the superhero films is that when I watch them, I'm all like charged and ready to go, like, oh, what are we going to do? We're going to change the planet. Let's do it. You leave the theater and then you just go back to everyday life. That's why at the end of the film, it's going to take us to, there's going to be a QR code that you can connect to at the end of the film. It takes you to a website and it says, you know, do you want to heal yourself, others, or the planet? It's going to connect everyone who's in need of a healer, like similar to, say, an Uber service. If you normally take a line of cocaine at midnight, it shows you everything in your area that gives you a similar type of high for a similar price, but is a drug for your soul. So connecting all these healers that, you know, their fridges are empty or whatever it is, trying to show these different services that they offer at the same time. So like a Baymax, say, from Big Hero 6. And it just, the website and the app will connect you to people who are able to offer these services to you. So that's, I saw that there was a huge gap with that energy that was coming out of the theater and changing your own life and being able to transmute that energy. So that was through watching you.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
so cool.
Yeah, so it's fun.
So exciting stuff, right?
Yeah.
Cool. Do you got any more questions for Catherine now, or, you know, anyone questions for anything?
I just want to
crystal lady?
Bring in the little dodecahedron crystal.
Oh yeah.
That's beautiful.
Wanted to say hi
Yeah.
as we're moving into the dodecahedron Earth.
Oh, the
Little
water.
sacred geometry for us to all connect to today.
We're going to start thinking more in sacred geometry. So something we will have to start working on, you know. But anyway, it's going to happen anyway. Now, dreams. Look out for your dreams. I had a superb dream showing me my loss of identity. I got a new passport, new identity in my dream last night. So whatever that means, just, you know, watch out for your dreams. It's got to be interesting.
Well, thank you all. Chat today.
Yes, great stuff. Exciting. Keep up the exciting vibes and the clutching, you know, and the new finding the magic in the ordinary, which is, you know, think of it that way. It's the soul shards that have never done it. They are so excited. And that's what Carolina showed us. It's like the soul shards that she had integrated that haven't driven, what do you call it, car? Mechanical car,
Quantum mechanics.
No. What's the difference? Automatic and standard car.
Or manual.
Manual. A manual for a long time. Yeah. Think about that. The avatar is the one that lives. All the other guys are dead because they're not on this planet Earth until we bring them in. So they're gonna, you know, you're the avatar. Assert yourself. You are the avatar. What's that to others to say? And I think this is why we're going to start having this new way of perceiving things, the food, you know, when we eat, because it's not really you eating it. It's obviously you, but you know what I mean? It's that soul shard that hasn't had the opportunity to eat for so long, right? I get it. This is what AB is talking about. That's when he says, you know, all these you know, these ancestors that haven't had kids for such a long time. How are we going to teach them? Well, it will be those new women. Those women on this planet will have children, and all of a sudden they will teach their soul shards what it's like. Right? Interesting. Not just, you know, there's a connection. Maybe, I don't know, it just came to me. All right, guys, thank you so much for today. We're going to love and leave you with that. And we're going to see you next week, right? In good shape. And I know we will not see the same yous, so we look forward to the new yous. All right? All right. Love you guys. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.